And that is how I learned how to play the violin.
Play and destroy are two different things.
Would you like another? I have
no,
more.
I am quite well. Matter of fact, you should tend to your friend over there. While I
If you
go
don't think
check.
this is wonderful, you should hear what she was playing last week. It is very much improved.
You seem to be in a chipper mood to have lost a companion. Traveled from a first world encounter with someone of power, for what I'm gathering, slaughtering them as they're defenseless. Where's the key?
I'll side-eye Yara.
We have it. That is all you need to know on that front.
Is it fully together? Is it complete? Does it still work?
We are here, are we not?
Doesn't mean that it works now. You haven't checked the condition of the key you've come here?
In theory, yes, it still works.
Are you sure about that? Let
We
me
have
see
not
it.
gone back to the Ayudara to try it, so no, I suppose not.
Let me see it.
Let us get to town and make sure our companion is well first. You would have upheld your terms of the bargain then.
That is correct, but we cannot go anywhere now.
Yes.
I do not need to hold this key. I would like to see it, if possible. If you would like to wait before we get... Never mind.
You know, it is not abnormal for people to try and find the light in things when things are very, very dark for them, yes? You accuse us of being chipper. We have lost much. We have gone through much. But we cannot just sit here and wallow and weep. So perhaps think before you speak.
It's quite an attitude you have there. You were just
the one
playing
who
a
went
violin.
ahead and said something so shallow and awful.
Wasn't shallow. I said that you seemed quite chipper, which you did.
For someone
were
who
playing
just
a
lost
violin.
someone. You were accusing us of not caring.
I did not say that.
That is exactly
Never
what
did it
you
come from my
said.
mouth.
That is exactly what you said. You said you are chipper for people who have lost someone and who have been through and who have attacked someone while they were in a cage or something of that were the defenseless.
Yeah, well, yes, you went through a lot, as I am saying.
If
But
I
it
might,
was odd to me how you have been chipper,
if I
coming
might,
from all of that you went through.
if I might interject, have we checked on the little bubbles coming out of the tracheotomy?
Yes, I will do that. Thank you. And I will go and check on Arelia.
Just need to make sure there's breath going in and out.
Well, I will go check the perimeter once again. And then maybe you can light a small fire for your friend over there. No, stand up and go walk outside the cave, or crouch and stealth outside the cave.
Lizard, did I say something?
No. You were fine.
We better light that fire before we get blamed for the vibes again.
He had a good suggestion of waiting to make sure that it is clear.
All right.
But no, you did nothing wrong, Karun.
Good. I didn't think so. I was just making sure.
I think everyone deals with loss in their own way. It is easiest for some to act accordingly as the one lost would wish.
When I was a child, my parents had some family friends who were forlorn elves. And the forlorn are a type of culture where they just live a long, long time. But they call them forlorn because they live so long that everyone they love dies eventually. And it just does something to them. And when I was a child, I used to think maybe that would happen to me. I'm still relatively young. I'm only 54, so I haven't, had the same experience as all the forlorn. But, as a whisper elf, I thought maybe I wouldn't feel loss. And so I guess I just have yet to experience it.
You did not find Adronis passing as a loss?
I don't like thinking about it.
It's fair. I think you'd be upset if we...
If I think about it, then I have to consider the fact that I am the one who did it,
It's what he wanted. Was it not?
Yes.
You are not to blame. He gave, so we lived.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
It
look
would
at
have been all of us otherwise.
Gonna go look at the tracheotomy.
She will be fine. Very good healer attending to her.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's making light or not, but we do have his head.
His what?
Head.
Adronis's head?
Oh, you may have been asleep or away. Yes.
Oh.
There is a chance for resurrection, though slim and expensive.
Huh.
But it is preserved in this bag.
Well, I didn't know that. All right. Well, I feel much better about the whole thing, honestly.
Good. You are all right, Karun. You did nothing wrong.
Thanks.
I'm so tired.
What's the matter? You go through a little gate, cause you end up in a different planet, have a little fight with a giant snail, and what, you're a little eepy little lizard? You want something for that? I have something for you if you want a little pep.
No, I think I'd rather sleep.
Yeah, it's probably better.
I feel like we've been only running. Even when resting, I feel like we've only run.
Yeah, I should probably get some shut-eye too.
Do you sleep now?
Just a little bit. Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, sometimes my eyes stay open and I'm completely conscious. It's just nice to you know, have everyone else asleep so I can plot and plan.
Right, yes.
The perimeter is quiet for now.
Oh, good. We'll light some fires.
If you light a fire, do it further down in the cave.
Very well. Gonna walk down into the spooky cave. All right. I have a torch. Is that going to be enough? Do we have
I have camping. Do you wish for me to take care of that, Karun?
Well, I can supervise.
All right. I'll go a bit farther back then and
Right.
light a fire.
Leave the expertise to you.
I go and do so. Get
Okay.
a small fire lit.
So
in
you're
the
gonna
back.
make camp in this cave. Okay.
Yes. Would you like me to roll for that?
I would. I'd also like a survival roll from Madronas.
That's
The head
awesome.
of a Dronus.
Or I'm sorry, Malavik. Wow.
Too
Survival.
soon.
Okay. The 9.
Okay.
A 22.
Should I do perception instead, though?
Nope.
Okay.
So I gave you a circumstance bonus here, Malavik. You're a little iffy on staying here tonight.
Yep. Don't have a choice right now, so. Also, I just got yelled at, so at the same time. This is the best we can do.
Okay.
I won't make any suggestions because I don't want to stir up anyone else. So I'll just sit at, I'll just go to a spot that I normally had to myself where I could keep watch but still get some kind of rest. Not the best place.
Okay. Arash talk. It's not very hard to set up a camp, and set up some food here. However,
I'm not cooking anything, by the way. It
Okay.
will just be dried rations.
okay,
I do not wish for food smells to waft.
okay. So you have just set up a fire.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. You do it as best as you can inside this cave, creating as little smoke as possible. And the cave is kind of oddly shaped. It's the mouth of the cave is it's like kind of asymmetrical, and deeper in, it's actually quite a bit bigger, and then it just gets to be to the point where there's a lot of stalactites and stalagmites, and it's not very good to go much further. So you go as deep into the cave as you can, I guess, to make this and start to set up camp. Okay, Yara,
Yes.
please make a medicine check.
$24.
Okay. Karun's attempts to stifle this allergic reaction in Arelia will require some more time and effort. So your impromptu tracheotomy that you did with Karun will suffice for now. But you can tell that the allergic reaction hasn't really stopped per se. It's a lot of I think you'd see Arelia just kind of like periodically try and scratch, and it looks uncomfortable.
Would it perhaps be a better something to see. I would have tubing in my kit for situations like this. Sometimes you have to drain lungs and things of that nature. Would it be better in this opportunity than to try and slide the tube down her throat in order to make sure it's stable, so we're not worried about the jiggling of the tubing that was placed inside of her throat like that? That was cut into for the tracheotomy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think using your medical knowledge, that's probably a bit safer. It can be tricky to get right, and Arelia has been numbed for the procedure, but sooner you get Arelia to Loskialua, the better.
Very well. Well, for the meantime then, since I have an opportunity to, I will attempt to go ahead and put the tube down her throat and stitch up the hole where the tracheotomy was.
Okay. Do you have any more of the numbing stuff that Karun has? Potion.
Well, I don't have a potion myself. I would have some salves for the externals, though. That would be about it.
Do
Nothing
you have
for
like a medicine kit or anything?
Well, yes, I do. I have my medical belt, I believe it is. Let me see what it's called, actually.
Okay.
Yes, it's healer's tools.
Okay.
So I would have salves and things of that nature in there, I'm sure.
Do you have like charges on that or anything?
It does not say, but I'm assuming that I'll spend money when we go to town to refill anything, so.
I will say that this is the last of your healer's tools to do this.
Very good.
But with a 24 on your medicine check, it's done. It is, I guess, difficult, I imagine, to see Arelia like this in pain and dealing with this. But you do your best that you can.
I'm so sorry, darling. I'll get you to town soon. When I'm done with that, I will lean back against the cave wall next to Arelia, and I will attempt to slumber.
Okay.
Now there, asleep. Malavik. Watch, shall we take turns? I assume you'd like to sleep as well.
Yes, we should definitely take turns. Though I said the perimeter is clear for now, does not mean that it will be clear later.
Exactly.
I will do the first watch. Or maybe, actually, one of you should probably do the first watch. As the night goes on, things will get more active.
I will happily take the first. My sight is not that good in the dark. So deeper night would be best suited for someone else.
And I will go. I will do that.
Rest well, I'll wake you.
Things for warning. Watch the trees. Any critters that run towards the cave or in the cave, or running away from something, coming towards it. The air shifts oddly here. That means our smells, for certain creatures, without covering it, can attract. And those are the land ones. The ones that are in the air, those are the terrifying ones. If you do see that, come into the cave immediately, wake us whole. The deeper you go into the cave, the harder it is for those creatures to have their way. There's a reason why I don't stay here anymore. I'll stand up, be with care. And I'll walk to a spot and whip out a bedroll from an adventurer pack that I have and take off the more annoying pieces of armor and lay with my sword up against the wall for easy reach if something happens.
Should I tell him that I can see in low light?
You can take the watch after him or me if you'd like, then.
I'll do that.
Would you like me to wake you?
Yes, please.
Sleep well.
Good night.
And I will take the first watch of the evening.
Very well. Adronis, please roll me a Malavik, please roll me a d20.
Gonna have to roll it with his tongue because he's just ahead.
Yep.
12.
Okay. And please make a perception check for me, Arashtak.
All right. A 25.
Excellent. Okay. Arashtak. You position yourself reasonably close to the mouth of the cave, listening and watching as best as you can. Night has fully fallen already. And you hear these strange sounds out in the night. You see various creatures and things making their way, flapping through the trees. You see leaves move here and there, and you can see very little past the range of the low light emitted from the fire. You just catch glimpses here and there. The sounds, I think, throw you off. You smell, and I don't know if you do this with your tongue or what, but you smell the smells of a very active environment. There's a lot of creatures here. You can hear them, you can smell them. Smell the smells of death and, rotting carcasses, and you can hear creatures eating things in the jungle. Sometimes you hear large things moving about.
I am from a swamp, so... Large creatures moving aimlessly, moving toward us, away from us. I'm listening because sight is not my expertise here.
Sounds like they're a good ways away. Doesn't
Getting
necessarily
louder,
sound
or-
like they're getting louder.
All right. No concern for me then. It is comforting here. It reminds me of the swamp.
They have strange bugs here, and they have very large insects.
Oh, I love it. Occasionally, I would probably see if I could have one land on me and just inspect it.
Yeah, I'm guessing they act a little bit differently because of the predatory nature of this area. But there's a few insects that look like a combination of a dragonfly and a centipede.
I do like them.
Your mosquito's swarm starts to percolate, and it starts to spread out here and there. Starts to find new blood.
I'm okay with this. Could be interesting later. I'm sure Karun would be pleased. Well,
But
if
otherwise,
it goes
you're-
uneventfully.
Yes, otherwise your watch goes without incident.
Lovely.
Now, typically it's 3 watches for a full night's sleep. You've taken 1.
Yes.
About 3 hours.
I will be waking Karun next.
Okay.
And walk over. Karun. Oh, she really does sleep with her eye open. I suppose she has one less to worry about now. Karun.
Lizard. Yes. Oh, right. Yes, I'm awake.
I will sleep now. No issues I've run into. Loud creatures moving about, but in the distance.
All right. Have a good sleep.
I will. Now, they were my mosquitoes. There should be no issues with bugs, since there is a light smoke.
Oh, good.
Good night.
Good night. I will walk out to the watch post.
You walk to the area just before the mouth of the cave. You also can't see too much. You have low light vision, but things definitely would have a difficult time seeing you, as you have developed some new traits.
I am one with the shadows.
And it's pretty,
Like smoke, Karun is gone.
it is definitely very difficult to see you. And Malavik, please roll a d20 for me. Okay, thank you.
2.
Karun, make a perception check. All right, 22. Karun, are you typically scared of the sounds that you've heard here in the jungle, would you say, as you've been traveling?
I don't believe so. I think I've been curious more than anything. I like new things. I like traveling. And nothing is scarier than some of the snoring back at camp, so... You know. Also, I'm not sure if any of these creatures out there understand that Karun is now one with the shadows, and they must share space with Karun.
So you're psyching yourself up, basically, to keep yourself out of, out of the terror zone.
That's right. They are trapped in here with me.
Huh? Well,
I am the danger.
you definitely hear some crazy shit on your watch. There are sounds of creatures hunting each other. The ground quakes as you hear something large running in the distance. There are the sounds of leaves parting. You hear the sound of a tree cracking, falling to the ground in the distance. You hear this horrific sort of roar in the distance, and you hear there's what appears to be some kind of fight or something happen. This hunt is happening, and the sounds of savagery are before you, flesh tearing, and you can hear the sounds of foul, like birds leaving their place in the trees. The equivalent of bat-like creatures on this planet are sort of moving about in the distance, and you have this overwhelming feeling of danger all around you.
I am the night. I am the night. I am the night. I am the night.
Karun, I need you to make a will save for me. Ooh, very nice. Saving throw for will is 21. That's good. Because you're put through the ringer here, Karun. Your entire watch is these horrific sounds and maybe glimpses of creatures in the distance. Terrifying creatures. You see these creatures that kind of look like jungle cats with pustules on them.
Oh.
Moving through trees and such.
Gross.
Uh-huh. You see something that looks like a cross between a dinosaur and an insect. This, definitely not mosquitoes, like annoying kind of insects. These are, yeah, they're quite big. Quite big. You'd see some of those around, as well. Horrific. There are these sort of loud booms that sound like cracks of thunder. And these insects, you only catch glimpses like wings, like flying around, and you see glints of teeth and shiny carapace. And
for a planet entirely covered by vegetation, there's not a single thing that eats the vegetation.
There's probably some, but it's not the creatures that catch your attention. The whole of your watch is just kind of like seeing things unfold, and you're puckered the entire time. It's horrific.
Don't like it. They're trapped in here with me. They're trapped in here with me.
But otherwise, your watch goes without issue.
I will have subsumed myself in the darkness like a tiny little cocoon, and just hoped that nothing can see me.
Mm-hmm. Your watch goes without issue. Aside from these horrific noises and sounds and occasional glimpses of strange creatures with horrific teeth.
Gross.
Three hours pass. you wake Malavik for his watch?
I
Yes.
would say that I'm already awake. The vibrations from the activity, I would say, have stirred me awake, and I was silently putting on my armor
Malavik.
in the last 5 minutes or so.
Malavik.
Yes, I know.
Malavik. It is
Yes.
I, Karun. You probably don't know that because of how dark it is in here.
I can see you quite clear.
All right. It's your turn.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Is everything okay? All right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yes.
Have you now gotten a sense of where you are?
Yes, I think so.
Good. Now, cover yourself well.
Okay. Gonna go.
Make sure the others are, well, still stirring.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. All right.
Well, stand up and grab my sword and walk to my normal spot when I was alone and kind of kneel down, but not fully sit. It's almost like a sort of squat that uses the back of the wall, and I'll have my sword in between my arms just in case something comes. I can act faster. I'm still aching from all the beating I've taken for these people that I don't even know. I realize how hurt I really am after the adrenaline finally stops. Starting to contemplate if it was worth it, or if it's worth it. Should I stay here or should I leave now? And then I think back to my brother and ask myself what he would do. And I believe that just starts to stir an anger inside of me. I grip a part of my bag where there's a broken piece of something in it, unknowingly. And then I start to tighten my grip and realize what I'm doing, so then I release it slowly. Things would be so much different if you were here. I'll find you soon enough. And then I'll peek out into the wilderness. I do have dark vision.
You have low light, or do you have...
I have full dark vision.
Okay. Go ahead and make a d20 roll and then a perception check.
12. 14.
Okay.
I'm thinking between my watch, I keep looking forward and then looking back towards the group. Still contemplating coming to senses of what I should do.
Malavik. You hear some familiar sounds in the night. Insects. You might have encountered them before. You can hear them in the distance. They are pretty horrific. Large creatures. They have this sort of distinctive noise that they make. This loud, thunder-like sound that they can make with their bodies and legs. You've seen them before. Make a lore check for me regarding Castrovel.
I have to add that.
So you can just roll.
I'm trained, right? We trained in it.
You are not trained. You are
not trained in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this will be the equivalent of a D20.
Yeah.
Do you have any minuses to int? No. Okay.
No, a
Okay,
9.
9. You can't remember what their name is. But you remember they're very dangerous. And if you're hearing them, then that means that they are reasonably close. And that you remember something about these creatures being like a hunting prize.
Okay. I looked back to see if the fire was snuffed out.
I don't know, was it?
Well, it was
That's
very
a-
dark in the cave, wasn't it? When Karun was talking, she enshrouded herself in like the shadows and stuff, and was
up
talking
to
about
you
how
all.
dark it was.
I did not, but that does not mean it did not go out on its own. I
You said that there was
had several hours.
You said that there was smoke there, so I don't know if you left it or not.
For myself, yes, I left it, but I did not add anything to it. I just went to sleep.
Okay. Would anybody else have, or would you have just let it go out?
I was knocked out, so that's up to you, Karun, I think.
I
And
definitely would have. I definitely would have put some more fire in there.
No, I would not have snuffed it out because I was away from them.
Okay. So there is still a fire.
Great.
It was well crafted from what you saw. From what you saw, there's not like a lot of smoke or anything.
Yeah, but most insects are attracted to light of any sort. I'm going to slowly make my way towards the group. I'm not going to run or break into a frenzy of any kind. I'm going to slowly walk over. And then I'm going to, didn't even make any kind of checks or anything.
What exactly are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to get to the fire and
You can get there.
okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the water in the puddles that are around. And I want to take any leftover old curated leather that I may have left in here. And I kind of want to snuff it out at the same time. Maybe pour water in and snuff it so that the smoke doesn't rise, and if it bellows out, it goes from the bottom.
Survival check. Won't be that hard.
17.
Yeah, 17's fine. You're able to do this without issue.
And I'll just stay low to the ground, kind of near the group, wherever the fire was. I'm pretty sure they're not laying around it or anything. This is hot. And I'll just sit and wait with sword ready. So I'll be crouched down and have the sword pointing straight out towards any opening.
Sure.
And just concentrating on looking.
Some time passes. More time passes. Nothing seems to happen. And as more time is passing, Malavik, you start to remember these creatures had some kind of mating call, and it can be heard from dozens of miles. So you might have forgot about that. And they probably were a bit further away than you thought.
Better safe than sorry.
But your watch passes without problem. You can see bits of daylight start to creep in.
Right. As soon as I see first light, I start to get ready. I put my pack on and I tighten up my armor. And then I'll try to do some makeshift bandages for myself. Horribly. Because apparently tensions were flared and I don't expect anyone to help. But as soon as the light comes in, I'll take a little bit of water and drip it on each one's forehead. Just to be sure that there's nothing else out there. And hopefully it wakes them. If not, then I guess I could shake them. Don't want to stir anyone. It's first light. We should get going. And you'll just see me just wrapping myself with like old rags, and they're not clean, but they suffice. They're not overly dirty.
It's
You'd
depending.
see-
Oh, please.
You'd see me with a coin between my fingers, rolling it, not dropping it like I just did. And I would be studying Malavik. Work on those if you'd like.
You would heal me.
I have before.
I'd appreciate that. The night went unsullied. Granted, the location wasn't the best. But that's for another story. I'd appreciate your tending.
There.
Eat what you can, drink what you can. We have to move fast on foot to make it to the gates. We have to still get to the gondolas. That trek might be treacherous. The more movement and stuff that was made, these were their home first. Stirred up some, territorial natures around here. But we should be able to make it in good time if we're all well. And I look towards the green one. They seem to be breathing better. That's good.
And how are the rest of you? Did you all sleep well?
Yes, I'm fine. I slept so fine. I'm very good. So good.
Slept well enough. Yeah, I've probably been awake for 45 minutes or so I can do my daily preparations and meditations with the mosquito witch. It's probably Malavik, you would have noticed. A number of mosquitoes swirling in a pattern around me the last hour or so, as I have a few candles lit with a weird little shrine.
Yeah, I think in my head I would find it kind of strange that they would have followed you here. Let alone made it to the first world, but then here as well. But I won't say anything. I'll just kind of like squint my eyes. And, but not showing any malice, of course, just more like curiousness. And then I would say, there was one more of you. I do not know where that one is.
Oh, the...
Hubert.
No, the chronicler.
Oh.
They left.
Hubert's just like snoring,
Best sleep of his life.
little feet up.
Some pools of drool next to him on both sides.
You
Adorable.
just see little feet poking out of the spikes. You know, everything's all.
Oh, is he all curled
Yeah,
up
yeah.
upside down
Yeah.
with the little feet? This is
Yeah.
good.
That's adorable.
We must protect him at all costs.
We're doing this for you, little guy. It's all for you.
Yes, the Chronicler, the insectoid. They left before we crossed the river.
Into the jungle.
They barely followed us as is. They were just wanting to leave the first world.
Well, being alone in this. And I bury my words, and while I may intended to, I will try to remember the safest route to Loskialua from here. Or at least to the gondolas to take us there.
Yes.
I have a question. Would you say that was a long enough rest to be full health again?
No, that doesn't exist in Pathfinder.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
We gotta
That's
have
brutal.
You did.
me and Arashtak treat your wounds.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get
So-
3 plus something.
You get your Constitution modifier plus half of your level.
All right. Very good.
So let me just double check.
At 3 or 4.
You recover hit points equal to your Constitution modifier with a minimum of 1, multiplied by twice your level. Sorry.
Oh, good. Well, that's a lot, actually, because my level's 3, so that would be 6, and then 6 times 2 is 12. Is that right?
That is correct.
Oh, good.
Yes. Your Constitution modifier multiplied by twice your level. So everybody that had expended spells gets those back. Any other charges on anything that can be restored can get those back.
Very well. Between the supplies that I do have and the supplies that Arashtak has and everything else that we have, should I be able to treat our wounds?
Yeah, Orashtak has...
I have a full healing kit that I don't use, really. I use mostly herbs.
Yeah.
So,
Very good.
It just makes sense to me that so many healing supplies have been used and so many like treating of wounds has been used that you will need to like resupply.
Yeah, I mean, you can even
periodically.
probably make some like threads and stuff in nature. So.
Absolutely. If you want to spend some downtime here and there to try and make your own supplies and things, that's definitely a thing you can do as well. Absolutely.
that is what I have done already in the past a few times now.
I'll go ahead and I will treat Malavic's wounds. For 9 healing. With the assurance and everything calculated in at trained level.
Thank you. I'll look over while she is treating me, and I'll say, sorry I stirred you. I did not mean to bring any kind of doubt in your caring for one you lost. It was maybe poor wording.
It is alright. It's just simply that, you never know exactly how someone is, truly. Right?
Yes.
Some of us deal with things differently. And it is never a good feeling for someone to say something akin to, you look happy for someone having just died. Right.
Intentions over impact, or impact over intentions, I should say. Yes. My intentions were not to hurt anyone, but I understand what you're saying.
Yes, I should have communicated better. I'm sorry. It's not like me to snap like that.
We do not know each other. It's understandable. I often contemplated leaving you all in here to die. But at the same time, I came to my senses. You understand that trust. It was not hard. When I was with those that I cared about, but ever since that day, trust has eluded me for many reasons. But I am taking a
Beginning of a
chance.
trust, then, yes.
While I do pay my debts in full. I guess once trust is mutual, of course. We will be leaving Loskialua. There are a few there that I would like to introduce you to. Knowing that you have that key still, and you think it's in working order, I may want to take you to one of the scholars first.
In Elven Scholar?
Why are you so obsessed with elves?
Not obsessed with I'm an elf. Sort of.
Are you? Strange.
Yes, I know. It doesn't look like it right now. But, you know, maybe
Half elf then?
it's complicated.
Oh,
Just, if we're going to see some elves, I would like to talk to maybe some elven doctors.
we'll be going to see the Watia. Again, it's not in my nature to tell you any names
Alright.
once we get there. But I will say, you will probably get the greeting that you are not expecting.
Alright.
As long as we're not attacked on sight, I think I'll accept most any greeting.
Attacked? Maybe. But not the kind of attack that you're expecting. Just, keep an open mind. As I have. You'll just see kind of like, a kind of, not so much of an eye roll, but a kind of like a breath, maybe even a slight blush of some sort. But then I'll stand up and I'll say, not 100%, but this is good. Thank you. I would like to try to avoid any battles coming up soon if possible. Especially while we have an injured one. We must move quickly.
Yes. Are we all
I
right to
will
move?
help tote that one down, but I may need some help. Just to make sure it's not a rough going down.
I can do so.
And I'll stand up and stretch, crack some bones, and walk over to the one that is down. And this sled that you have made, Karoon, does it have handles on both sides to be able to like pick up and tow?
Oh, yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. Are we done here? Are we ready to move out? Or is there much needed? More healing to be done?
I am quite hale, actually.
Well,
Very good.
I'm not fully healed, but I believe if there's dangers to come, I can hold myself.
I feel great. You see a little bit of elixir just like stuck to my face here and my chin as breakfast.
You look like a kid that just had chocolate ice cream.
Oh yeah. Breakfast of
Except it's
champions.
like neon green, you know?
Matcha.
I see that you've had some toys from the 90s.
That's right. It's delicious. It's a little
Right.
sour.
Let's move out.
Very well.
Leaving the safety of your cave, at least the relative safety of your cave, you begin to move back into the jungles of Castrovel. In this area that you know of as the Ickle Expanse. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Okay.
And that's how I learned to play the. Oh, never mind.
the Ickle Expanse and its dense jungles untamed as you begin to continue your way to Loskialua. You know that you've got a few hours left in this trip. Malavik, you are leading the way in exploration mode. Let's do some proper exploration mode. So, there is a handout for exploration mode here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Different exploration activities that you can do along the way. Let's see. What would you like to do along the way? You can open up that handout, take a look near the bottom. There are things such as avoiding notice, defending, detecting magic, following the expert. Seems like something that you might want to do here. Hustling, which in this case means moving quickly. Investigate, repeat a spell, scout, or search.
I will be following the expert.
I am, actually, there's one other one I can do. Covering tracks.
Okay.
I'd like to follow behind in the back, working to make sure that predators may have a harder time finding us.
I would like to hustle, if possible.
Okay.
I would also like to hustle.
Okay. So, let's do some skill rolls.
Oh, this is a group thing now. Okay.
So, let's see here. Malavik, you were leading the way.
Yeah.
I have to tell myself every time, by the way, don't say Adronis. Don't say
I made
Adronis.
sure the name was
Very different.
correct.
Yeah. You're going to be hustling. This will be you moving at double your travel speed. You can hustle only for a number of minutes equal to your constitution modifier times 10. What is your con mod?
If it's a group one, you have to go with the lowest one of the group, which will be Yara's.
Okay.
Mine is a +1.
Well, Karun is also following the expert. Are you an expert in athletics, Adronis? Or Malavik?
I am expert
Beltronus.
in athletics.
Okay.
Maldronus. Yeah.
Okay. Must be willing to provide assistance while following the expert. You match their tactic or attempt similar skill checks. Thanks to your allies' assistance, you can add your level as a proficiency bonus to the associated skill check, even if you're untrained. Additionally, you gain a circumstance bonus to your skill check based on your allies' proficiency. +2 for expert. Okay. So, let's see here. We need some rolls. Let's handle this first. So, athletics roll from you, please, Malavik.
18.
Okay.
Which is a bad roll for me. Lord.
Just double checking something. Sorry, before we continue. Yeah, I think athletics makes the most sense here. Okay. All right, and who else is doing hustle? I think that's just Yara, right? Okay.
Indeed.
Yara, you hustle roll an athletics check from you.
20.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so what is your constitution modifier, Yara?
It is a 1.
Okay, so you can hustle for 10 minutes then. But you're going to make good time. Karun, following
Yes?
the expert will mean
That's
that
right.
you get to make an athletics check.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay because you decided to follow the expert, which was probably the best choice for you in this case. Thanks to your allies' assistance, you can add your level as a proficiency bonus to the associated skill check. So you will be adding a 3 to this check and a circumstance bonus of a +2 because Malavik is an expert.
Sweet. So that's +5?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
10! Yay!
Short legs.
It's not, they're not that short.
Okay. Fair enough. And let's see. We need some survival from Arashtak here.
Yes.
Now, I'm taking all of these rolls into consideration, by the way. So one bad roll isn't necessarily horrible.
14.
Okay. Fair enough. So, Arashtak, everyone's making a pretty good pace, which is making it difficult for you to cover tracks well. You're doing the best that you can. You think a cursory glance, nobody's going to notice, but if anybody it takes more than a few seconds to really look, they're going to notice the path that you all have taken. Hacking your way through this jungle, you move as quick as you can for about 10 minutes before Yara starts breathing heavy. Karun has been breathing heavy, and you have to slow down to a sort of normal pace as you continue moving through this jungle.
Karun is also very self-conscious about the whole thing.
Yeah. I indeed start to slow down to normal. Not walking speed, but like a fast walk. Noticing that I've been going a little, maybe too much, and toting the downed companion of theirs. I think I get lost in my thoughts as I started hustling, so I start slowing down and then looking to the sky to see if we can see any gondolas floating about and trying to gauge my distance.
You're kind of in a tough spot to see them at the moment, so I'm going to say make a perception check, but it's going to be pretty tough.
20.
Yeah, you don't see them with the 20. It's tough getting out of your head the D&D numbers.
But
yeah, 20,
I get it.
20 isn't enough for this. So you are a little unsure. You know that you're headed in the right direction, but you don't have a good visual on the gondolas. You've probably taken a bit of a serpentine path as well. I imagine that you've seen some pretty nasty-looking carcasses along the way, Malavik. You saw the typical sights that you might see here in the jungle. The reclaiming of some carcasses, the leftovers for some large creatures. You see all kinds of different kinds of beetles and things devouring the remnants of these carcasses. Horrific smells and such, overpowering your sense of smell as you continue moving. So you're a little unclear exactly how far you are right now. But you can't see the gondolas as of yet.
Let's keep moving in this direction, but as soon as we see Arashtak, could you pay attention to the carcasses? I'm trying to keep my head forward. If you see any that has been freshly killed or maybe an hour or so out, the cleaners, as I call them, may come and claim them. You do not want to be around when that happens.
All right, I will.
Okay.
Would that be a nature check, a medicine?
Well, that would be you doing a different exploration mode activity if you would like to do that. So let's do the next round of stuff. What's everybody doing this round of the exploration mode?
I'm also following the expert just quietly. in the shadows so that no one can see my failure.
I'm going to search because I felt like in this time we should have made decent time to be able to at least see the gondolas, but I'm a little disturbed. I won't show the group that. I mean, maybe Yara might pick it up since she's near, but I'm starting to like wonder. I know that I'm going the right direction, but I'm trying to figure if we're being herded more than me making good time one.
So I think
So then,
I don't
would
think
that be
you have,
scout?
Yeah, more along the lines of scout. Search is like looking for hidden things and traps and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, then I was scout then.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're being a little cautious when you're moving. It's just you're keeping an eye out. That's what it sounds like. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
More so, yeah, because I'm more so trying to find a clearer way there to avoid dangers, and at the same time confused as to why I don't see gondolas yet.
Okay. What else?
All right. I believe that since we are moving at half speed now due to scouting, what I will do is I will search for any herbs or anything like that in order to replenish my supplies.
Okie dokie. Let's see. This will probably be...
Oh, maybe it was investigate that I should have done.
You can do investigate if you want.
Yeah, I would think it would be that, wouldn't it? If I'm trying to figure if I'm going the... it's not that I'm trying to figure if I'm
are you
going the
looking for-
correct way.
Yeah,
Are you looking for
investigate.
danger or are you looking for...
No, I'm
You're trying to
I'm
find
more
the
so-
path as opposed to
Right,
find danger.
right. Because
Gotcha.
I looked up and I was very sure of where we were. But
Sounds like
since I-
Arash Talk might be doing the scout.
Okay.
So, sense direction is potentially the one that is an exploration activity. Survival to get a sense of where you are or determine your
Oh.
cardinal directions.
it was down. I was down. I scrolled down. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a skill-based exploration activity. You can do sense direction if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, so that'll be a survival-based check. Don't do it yet. We're just
Yeah.
doing the rounds and seeing what everybody's doing. Okay. Yara, you are trying to gather materials and stuff along the way.
Indeed.
Okay. Let's see. I would count this as survival check or craft check. Medicine.
Survival, I think, would be more fitting. And it's also my better one anyway.
I know for me it is a nature check, but that is a more specific thing.
Yeah.
Well, my nature and survival are the same, so whatever it is you think, GM.
Okay. I will take either. It doesn't matter. Okay,
Good.
and Arash Talk.
Yes, if I am listening exactly to Malavik, Scout would probably be the action. Keeping
Watch
an
for
eye on the
danger.
corpses, exactly.
Okay.
It does not look like I roll for anything, I just move at half speed. Move at half speed, and the start of the next encounter, every creature gains a +1 circumstance bonus to initiative rolls.
Very nice. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Malavik, why don't you go ahead and make a survival check to sense direction.
I'm going to re-roll that because my god.
Okay. Spending a hero point.
Yep.
Just a reminder, if you didn't do it, make sure to add the hero point for the beginning of the adventure today.
I did not. Okay.
And just a bit of a different thing that we do here, just a homebrew thing, because we've been finding learning Pathfinder has been very difficult, and we've had many, many brushes with death and some actual death. That I'm fine with people rolling over their hero points from last session. I don't mind. Normally, you just start fresh with 1 at the beginning of the session. But the max is still 3. And the We do a lot of rolls, so I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with it. A lot of these rolls can be pretty tough. Okay, so a 20 on your survival, very nice. Karun, you will also be making Are you an expert in survival? Actually, Malavik.
That's a real. Oh wait, sorry.
Malavik.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. Am I an expert in survival? No, I'm trained.
Okay, so in that case, I don't think you can follow the expert here, Karun.
Oh
You
no.
would have to do a different thing. Yes.
All right. Then instead of following the expert, I will be. I will just be avoiding notice. Does that mean I move at full?
The group is already moving at half speed.
Oh, all right. Then I will be avoiding notice so that no one can see my failure.
Okay. Then let's see here. So if there is an encounter, you will be rolling a stealth check instead of a perception check to start for your initiative. Oh
no, that's actually so much worse. Perfect. Do I have to make a roll to avoid notice for my exploration?
You do not. Okay.
All right. I am the darkness.
Okay. Malavik. You think you have a rough idea of where the gondolas are. You see a few landmarks, a few trees that you notice that are extraordinarily vibrant in color. There's some bright purples and some verdant red greens with some red that just makes them sort of pop, and they seem very noticeable to you. Maybe you've even marked these trees before. Maybe they have like some...
I was going to say.
Yeah, some axe slashes in the trees or something, just to let you know that you're heading towards Loskialua. And eventually, after some time, you come to the familiar sights of Crested Hill, where the trees thin and a broad stone quarry comes into the view. You see steep sides of the quarry sheared 15 feet deep. The walls and floor a mix of naturally broken stone and expertly precise excavation. In the center of the quarry, a shallow pool of water encircles the base of a 30-foot tall stone tower. The tower's flat top is accessible by a ramp on its south side. Atop the tower, two curving rune-carved pillars crackle with purple lightning and generate the two narrow light beams that lead straight to the Pyramid City in the distant mountains. You recognize this quarry because this is the launch and landing point for the gondolas.
I'll slowly look over my shoulder and smirk. What you're about to lay your eyes on is something that you've probably never seen before. In sheer beauty. And all this danger around us. There. Crested Hill. The gondolas. That'll be our destination. Let's go, post haste. And I'll pick up my walk speed and get to the ramp area and drop the rope, untie the rope from my body, and look down at the downed companion and look for signs of them still breathing. I did go a little fast in certain areas, and say we carry them from here.
Very good. I can do that.
You'll have less to worry about now that I've swapped out the pipette for actual tubing in her throat.
Good. All right.
Just gonna take that pipette back
Yes, I've cleaned it for you and everything.
Oh, you cleaned it already? That's fine.
Did you not?
Just put it back in my thing. It's fine. Didn't need it.
All right.
Okay. I guess I'll look to Rashtak to help me put it up so we can tote.
Be gentle with the body.
Yes, I will. I believe I can, I think, just pick her up. Because I have a bag of holding. All my gear is negligible. I'm not putting her in it. But I have 14 strength. It's not tiny.
It's not easy.
No, I'm not saying it's easy.
I mean, if you wanted me to just pick her up, I can do that easily, but I was thinking about the comfort of your companion. We could just both tote her on this sled. It does have
I thought
handles on both sides.
like reaching down to pick her up, and I noticed that you've just set ropes down. You're not like leaving.
No, I'm not gonna.
No, that
But
would
if you want
make
me
more
to
sense.
pick her up,
Yes,
I can.
yes.
I am.
Would you like
No,
for me
no.
to coil this up for you? The rope's just like dangling.
That's Rashtak's rope.
I will coil the rope up for him.
Oh, thank you. I grab one side of it,
Okay.
like a gurney.
I didn't want to take somebody else's rope. Yeah. All right. Good. And we'll start toting, I guess, up towards the entrance.
Sure. So this quarry is surrounded by sort of broken stones and whatnot. As you make your way down towards the dust and dirt-covered path, you can see these pillars that are sort of connected to this crackling, lightning-like magenta, sort of purplish colored. And you see two humanoid-looking, but not quite humanoid-looking things moving about. Malavik, you know that these are constructs that are essentially mining the stone around the quarry. The people, the Awatia, don't really like to do this kind of thing. So they have helpers. And these constructs are sort of moving about. Lifting heavy stones and making their way towards the platform. Again, you can see these pillars that are sort of connected with this lightning as you make your way over there. Eventually, as you head there, getting ready below, you can see these white discs about 20 feet in diameter, flying closer and closer towards you, making their way towards the pillars. You know that they each rest for a few minutes, Malavik, before they continue on their path and make their way back to Loskialua.
And I know that these do not have too much of an issue at all with our weight. Correct.
Oh, yeah. I mean, heavy stone is put on these. You're fine.
Mind yourself when we get on these platforms. Please try not to move about too much. If you get interested in stuff, questions, just ask it when we land. I would warn you when we get there. As I said, you'll probably be greeted in a way that you are not accustomed to. My thoughts are with you. And then I'll get on the platform and bring them over.
I still wonder what exactly that means.
It's fine, you have me with you. I just kind of have a mental flashback of the first time I showed up. Nothing to be, well, I don't know. Trust me, And then I'll secure the companion and rest their head on my forearms and kind of cradle them a little bit so that they're comfortable on the trip over. And says, everybody ready? Let's go. It's going to start moving soon. Get on.
I would already be there with you, as I was.
I also am there.
Shepherd Hubert as well. Come.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
Okay, what
Get-
is all
Hubert!
this?
Yep, I'll help you up
Come
there. You
to
go.
me, Hubert!
Every time you do that, I feel very uncomfortable.
Wouldn't have to do it if you would follow instructions.
I don't need instructions, really. I'm
Just a little guy.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, really.
Just a little guy, little evil little guy.
I'm just taking all these mental notes of what's happening right now. And just kind of in my head, shaking it slowly as we make our way soon across.
Okay. You all pile onto the platform and begin to wait for it to continue. You can see that these constructs are loading up this like area around the gondolas, waiting for I guess the proper amount before they actually expend the effort to load the gondolas with the minerals and such. You see this crackling energy, which might be a little terrifying as you're like climbing onto these things. There's like lightning, like shooting underneath these platforms, and I'm guessing nobody really knows how these things work that are amongst your group here. So yeah, it's a little scary as this massive amount of energy is being used to power these things. And you climb onto the gondolas, and suddenly there is just a gentle lurch as they begin to move. And it's not terribly fast. There is like a slow incline in speed before it begins to move again. And you begin to fly up above. All of it. You begin to see the area all around you. And you see this wondrous new place. This new planet. This jungle before you, below you. This large ocean past the mountains. As you sail into the sky on these crackling beams of energy and lightning. There's nothing around you except for this flying disc. This feeling of utter and complete freedom. Open air. Open skies. Gentle clouds rolling about. Move through some mist, cascading off the water. And this beautiful sight begins to come into vision. The jungle drops away as this 20-foot gondola climbs into the sky, its platform rocking gently. Thick tree canopies fill the region for miles all around. This mountain range gets closer with its pyramid city nested inside. Thick cables at each corner of this gondola help carry this energy that seems to move them. What's everybody doing here on this gondola ride?
I'm taking notes about the structural integrity of the thing.
You can make an Arcana check for me if you'd like.
Sure.
Ooh, 25. Karun is sort of taking notes and walking around the gondola. You notice something, Karun, on the
Yes?
on the sidebar of this gondola. You see writing that you can partly understand. You can see that this gondola has some kind of safety feature.
Oh,
In that
that's
anything that falls from this gondola falls for 20 feet, then is surrounded by a purple glow as it suddenly reverses direction. The gondola's magic will yank it back up onto the platform. It is intended for the stone, however, and not people. It won't be gentle.
I think I'm going to look over at Karun as they are peering at this stuff, and I'm going to do a slight smirk because I've never answered their question about if they're elves or not.
Karun drops a pencil off the edge.
I'll make sure I cover. Slowly cover myself, but definitely cover the companion.
Okay.
I guess no one else will know what the heck is going on.
The pencil falls off 20 feet, and then you see this purple sort of lightning shoot out from the what's essentially like a lightning rope, to hold the gondola, sort of crackle down, like zapping the pencil as it falls off the side and begins to launch it back up onto the platform, not gently.
Can I catch it as it comes back up?
Make a reflex save. 19. I don't think you do.
Oh no! Does it just keep falling off the other side?
No.
It just goes back and forth.
It's like somebody threw a dart at a dartboard. It sticks like into the pencil like lodges itself like into the gondola, like a half an inch deep.
I just lean over to the lizard and I go, it's a safety feature.
You would notice that Arashtak is not comfortable. I've sat down. I'm from the water. I don't like the air.
It's all right. I read the manual.
Good. They're nervous, like flies and things buzzing around me.
You've noticed that I would have spread my arms, and the little sleeves that are on my shirt here would be kind of flowing in the wind. And I'll look down into Rashtak. If there is one thing that I could learn in this entire world, or worlds, I suppose, it'd be how to fly. This is a freeing feeling. Is it not?
I think falling is the most free, and I'd prefer not to do that.
That is fair.
No one can fall farther than 20 feet.
Then I get shoved into the base of this gondola.
Well, yeah.
As they say, it's not the fall that kills you, it's the return. Some little miner's joke that I made. They never laugh because they're not other
No, I got
constructs.
it. I got it. Clever.
We're nearly there. But I will say, let me go through the gates first. I'll leave you trail behind. But close with me, of course. But I will introduce you to the gates and then prepare you for what comes next. Seems like we're coming in now.
You see the sights of Loskialua getting closer. However, you also notice something else.
Oh man, I knew this was coming.
You see winged creatures approaching the gondolas right now. It looks like 2 winged creatures of some kind. I need everybody. Let's put you here.
Oh, it's very Final Fantasy of you. I knew we were
First a water fight, now an air fight. Let's go!
Am I rolling a stealth or a perception for this one?
I don't like it.
This will be a perception.
We get
Alright.
plus. You all get +1 from it though, from exploration earlier.
That would be if you had an encounter. You did not have an encounter while you were traveling.
For mine, I just get a +2.
Okay, and we can assume that Hubert's there someplace as well. But let's move you. Whoops, let's not do that.
Whoa.
I gotta put you on the right layer. That would be helpful.
When the turn order goes up, Haroon, just re-roll it and pop that in.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Okay,
There it is.
please select your tokens and roll some initiative.
Oh,
Oh, looks like mine worked.
Beautiful.
holy moly.
Arashtok and I just always roll the same initiative every fight.
Yeah, if we're terrible together, and if we're amazing, we're right there.
6, what on earth?
Apparently my fear of being up here has made me very alert.
Yeah. Looks like we're not gonna have a smooth ride after all.
Not exactly. As you see 2 flying creatures making their way towards some potential snacks.
Ew, what kind of birds are these? Does anyone know?
You can make a lore check for me, Malvik.
Sure. D20. Oops. You're hungry. Scary. Yeah. If you asked me out loud, I'd say everything is dangerous here.
Oh, hate that.
Oh wow. Oh,
Oh, hate that too.
is that the size of them?
Uh-huh.
Oh dear gosh.
I don't like it.
No.
I'm gonna gently lay the companion's head down and try to like put my pack underneath their, in the back of their neck, or I guess you could say, so they can be like somewhat comfortable. And say, well, this is not my specialty when it comes to distance.
In my pack there is a there is a sling with some bullets if you'd like for it. Here, grab for that.
Maybe better. And I'll grab that if I need to. I guess I'll just roll dex instead.
Okie doke.
Wait. Actually, that's not what I should do. Range strikes. Hold on. Does the sling have a what is it, like a 1d4 or something like that?
It is 1d6. I'm not sure what it adds to
So-
it though.
You should be able to search for it in the compendium tab
Okay.
and just drag it in.
Good. Makes my life easier.
Okay, Yara, it is your turn. As you see these 2 bird-like, leathery winged creatures with very pointy beaks and feathers coming out of the backs of their heads.
All right. Well, shit. I will go ahead and I will cast guidance upon myself, and a golden energy will come from my hand and seep into my skin, as I will get a +1 for my next attack. The one that is closest to us, I will go ahead and I will then, with my other hand, shoot forth these 4 darts from my hands. The rapier at my side has been sort of desummoned and turned into these needles that are floating above my hands, and I will launch them towards this creature. And that is a 15 to hit.
Okay.
Whoa, 3 of those are max damage.
Unfortunately, those are missed.
It would be a 16. I'm sure that still is a miss, but it would be a 16 with guidance.
Still a miss.
Okay.
No!
You see the creatures just sort of tilt.
Very good. That is my turn.
Okay, Arash talk.
Gods. All right. Seeing this while I'm still sitting on the ground, I just want to rest. I just want to rest one day. And just points his finger. Just fuck off. And Ray of Frost. And this. Just so tired.
We gotta get Merkles to do an animation of this.
And I Ray of Frost this one.
Okay,
For a 23 to hit.
that is a hit.
9 cold damage.
Okay, Arash talk. You fire off this bolt of cold, and connect. Okay.
And then I believe it is take cover, which I'm already doing as I'm sitting down here. Like I kind of peek between Yara and Karun and just
Hold on. There we go.
and I just kind of continue to hunch down in the center of this.
Okie dokie.
That is all I do.
Fair enough. Malavik.
I get ready to do what I normally do, but I think for a second, and I tell myself I can't reduce any flames around these people because they're close by, so I'll internally hone my rage. I'll still rage, but it won't be in my other form. Trying to work up the nerve, and I will rage and gain 6 temporary hit points, and on top of that, now the bonus does not apply to the sling. It only applies to melee attacks. Shoot, these are way out there. In my head, I'm thinking I could jump off and attack these, but then I will get ported back on top of someone probably. So instead I'll use the sling. And I don't even... Is this like a throw like that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll figure it out. So I'll spin it around and hopefully not hit anyone with it. It's not my specialty at all. There we go. A 14.
You hurl a bullet, a small rock, essentially, sails past. Misses.
I need them to get closer. And I'll do and all I can do is keep trying. So we'll do another one. Nope. And then I just get really frustrated, and I'll tighten my grip on the sling, and I say, "Thames!" And it's like, I'm useless here. I'll keep your companions safe. You are the ones that have to defeat these. Unless they get close, let me know. And I'll stand guard over the downed companion.
Okay. The Pteranodons will begin their turn.
Don't do it.
You
Don't
see the
do
first
it.
one
Don't do
fly
it.
towards the group.
Don't do it.
Karoon, since you're so vocal about this, why don't you roll me a d4, please?
Why you shut the fuck up, Karoon?
Karoon's in the middle
Roll a
between
D4,
everyone and the
please.
birds.
I am in the middle
1d4.
Yep.
Just want to go home.
Okay. Let's see. This one is headed towards Yara.
Good.
That
one, get that one.
as it will try to pluck you from the gondola.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, there's a safety feature.
I guess I'm going to fly after all.
You're giving a wish.
Okay, let's see here. This is going to be
What will happen to the birds if they fly into that electricity?
I don't know.
Hopefully it doesn't knock the gondola down.
A 16 to hit, Yara.
Oh, it misses!
The Pteranodon flies super fast. It swoops down towards you, Yara, and you just manage to avoid this very pointy shaped beak, long beak the size of your arm, is pointing towards you, and you hear this horrific as it sails past.
Terrifyingly good.
And it tries to just jab you with its beak and just like shove you off the gondola and misses. And it will fly this way as it misses.
I was going to ask if it was going to stay there.
Come on. And
Like, who the
let's
fuck you think I
see.
am?
Then it will use it will start to move this way. The next one. Karoon, roll a d4 for me, please. Okay, this one is headed towards you, Malavik.
I should just stay there.
Okay.
I don't have any reactions, do I? Not yet.
A 20 to hit.
Makes it, breaks it.
Uh-oh. You take 7 piercing damage from the beak, and then...
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. I need to take all these things off. There we go. Yeah, it makes it, breaks it. 7? Okay.
Then I need you to make a fortitude DC as you are about to be plucked off of the gondola.
A 12.
Uh-oh.
I'm re-rolling that so you can hold on. Hold your marbles. 17.
Oh!
Oh, I could have kept it.
The beak manages to strike you, Malavik, but as you get pushed towards the edge, you manage to get one of your feet onto the safety bar of this gondola and just hold yourself, and it tears some flesh as it moves past.
My tail will be whipping, trying to find a hold at the same time. Ah! Damn things.
Okay. Haroon, it is your turn.
I would like to throw a bomb.
Okay.
Hey, that bomb's not gonna come back, is it?
I would like to throw the bomb at the at this bird. Yep, that one.
Okay.
Can I get it?
You can definitely try.
All right.
So you have to move to the edge of the gondola to throw this.
Sure. Sorry.
But you can definitely reach it.
Move to the edge of the gondola to throw it with no penalty. You can throw it past the range, but...
Well, I'll move to the edge so that I don't have the penalty.
Okay. You throw the bomb. Unfortunately, a 14 is a miss.
Because it missed, is it gonna go back down and then come back up?
The bomb?
not.
It's an
The
interesting
bomb?
question. Let's find out.
Because if it keeps going, it's gonna come back. Maybe it'll hit it on the way back.
Let's
No,
find
look at
out.
us. Unless it's only inside the rings that it comes back.
Let's find
Because if it's
out.
only inside, then you threw it outside.
The bomb can magically only damage the target. So if it comes back, it won't hurt us.
Well, regardless,
necessarily.
the bomb does go off because you
all right.
it is thrown and you get splash damage. Regardless,
All right.
you get the one splash damage essentially if it's in range.
It's persistent fire damage, too.
Yeah, I lit it on fire. It's a very flammable bird.
Okay.
Should have been less flammable, idiot.
Wait, that hit?
The bombs, as long as you're in range, you have splash damage.
Splash damage.
For my next
Nice.
trick, I will do it again.
Yeah. Okay. You gotta roll the second one, so you have a penalty on this.
What?
That's with the penalty?
That's right.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, my.
That one is a hit.
I should pass up Sling.
Okay. This one is a hit for 3 fire damage and 1 persistent. Okay.
And then that'll be it for my turn.
If Adronis was around, he'd be shocked. Like, whoa.
Okay. The gondola will move.
Oh, I thought it had an attack. I was about to-
The gondola bucks you off and slams you into it.
I was just going to jump
Gondola
off and say
knows where
fuck
it is because it
He
knows where
slaps
it
it.
isn't.
That would be super cool if it did have like a defense mechanism.
It's the lightning. Hopefully they fly into it. Or not,
Okay.
actually.
New round. Yara, it is your turn.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and resummon those needles back to me. And I will shoot them towards the one that has the fire damage on it that was just hit by Karun, so the one that is closest to us currently. Ooh, that is a
Critical fail.
a critical fail there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is a miss.
All right, that is fine. And with my final action, I believe what I will do then is I will raise my shield in order to get the bonus to my AC.
Okay. Very well. Arash talk.
Yes. I have a fun idea. I begin to conjure Tanglefoot on this one. It immobilizes it if I hit.
So apparently this comes from thin air, which is
Yes,
really
I re-
interesting.
That's why I read it and was very curious on it.
I assume this is fine.
Yeah, it says thin air.
Yeah. Okay.
Will a 17 hit?
No.
That's wait a minute. Hold on. That is not factoring in my proficiency. No, that should have another 5 to it.
Excellent.
That would then be a 22 to hit.
That is a hit. Absolutely.
It is now immobilized and has a reduced speed, but immobilized to something flying sounds very interesting, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's falling.
Good.
It's 100% falling.
Go away.
It can only fall 20 feet,
As he
though.
lays back down.
Well, it would only fall 20 feet if it was on the gondola, but it is not.
Ah.
Yes.
How long is it tangled? Or 2 rounds? Oh yeah, that thing's probably gonna hit the ground.
Yeah, it is most likely going to fall into the water below. You see it falling and just screaming as it's falling.
Falling on fire. Damn.
On fire.
That it is, yes.
Masterfully done, Rostock.
Next!
Okay.
I continue to take cover behind literally everyone. And it's my turn.
Holding Arelia up like.
Oh no!
Take her, not me! No, that is correct. I did misread that. It is not immobilized on outside of a crit. That is actually correct.
Oh,
It is reduced speed.
oh, never mind. So
However, that could be determined by.
Okay.
But how does flying work with reduced speed and being wrapped in vines? That is a
I
GM
think we're
discretion.
I think we're gonna do a check for that. Then
That seems fair.
do an athletics or an acrobatics check. Or a save. I think a save is probably better here.
I can give you my spell DC, which is 18.
right, rolls a 32.
Sorry, I still have to get used to the new interface. Okay. Let's see. We'll assume this is a skill check, I assume. We'll do a skill check on its turn. We'll see how it does. Okay. Malavik.
Well, since the other one has reduced speed, I will try to lob this. Don't want to call it useless out loud, but that's what it feels like right now. Almost think I'd be better off throwing a rock, but I'll sling it. Since Yara was nice enough to tell me to use it. A 27.
Okay, that is being aimed at which one?
This. What did that mean? There we go.
Okay.
Oh, you're doing the one that I immobilized, or is slowed.
It doesn't come out of the thing,
No.
correct?
It is,
Yeah,
it's actually easier to hit. You get a,
It's the only one I can hit too.
yeah,
The other one's too
I
far
think it's
away.
a flat-footed bonus. So that is a crit because of the
Ooh.
flat-footed bonus, I believe.
Hey.
It's flat-footed bonus for immobilized, right?
Should be. Let's see. Does it say it on the?
Immobilized, you can't move.
Negative 10 circumstance penalty.
Speed.
Success. Oh no, I guess not.
I'm going to treat this as flat-footed just because it is
It makes
kind of in a
sense for it to be
sticky
flat-footed.
situation. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say that is in fact a crit. So that is 4 bludgeoning damage.
Yes, I'd be like, I'm disgusted with. It didn't look like it did anything. You know, it's like it bounced off of it, and I'll just aim for the head this time, I guess. 20.
Another hit for 3 bludgeoning damage. Cracks this thing in the head.
And I'll do it again. Like, it's frustration. An 11.
Okay. That is a miss. It's still kind of like falling, and it's like just getting progressively harder to hit, like as it's falling, you know? And you miss. Okay. The Pteranodons. This one's going to take some fire damage. And it will try and escape. Let's see, we'll make... is it an athletics check? What is the escape action?
Escape action, which is
Acrobatics or athletics? Okay.
Yes.
Let's do acrobatics. That's way better. 17.
It fails. It needed to beat an 18.
Okay. It's gonna fall like a rock because I think that's fun. And it splashes down into the water below.
That is somewhere you do not want to be. Trust me.
Okay. The Pteranodon that is still up is circling around and will now swoop back towards the group. And let's see, roll a D for Karun, since you were the one that started this whole mess. It's headed towards Yara again.
was gonna say rock is kind. It's not a 5, it's a 4.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 25.
Oh no.
Yep, that's gonna hit even with the shield up.
Okay, that is 5 piercing damage. Yara, you're like turning around, trying to keep track of them as you're moving around. You fire off those needle darts at one of them, and you see one's on fire, and it's kind of netted up. Malavik is using the sling. You're trying to keep track of everything going on in the battle, but the gondola's moving, the lightning's cracking. It's just difficult to keep track. You're raising your shield up, and you just miss the angle that the Pteranodon hits you with. Now I need you to please make... It was an athletics check, but let me just double check. I think
Reflex.
fortitude.
Fortitude, sorry. Yes.
Whoa!
Natural
That's a
20 for
critical
26.
Success. Very
Whoa.
nice. You managed to also do the same. You kind of get pushed to the edge of the gondola and get your heel like pressed down against the safety bar as this thing sails past you.
All right.
Haroon.
Yes. So it's moved now.
Yep.
And it's within range, yes?
20 feet is your default
Looks
range. You can
like
push
it.
yourself to go further, and you take a penalty to your attack.
I don't get anything better for being closer, though, so I'm not gonna get any closer.
As long as you're within 20 feet, you're good.
Yeah. All right. Then, I will attempt to hit it with some more fire.
19. It's just barely a hit.
Yes!
Very good.
And that is for 6 fire damage and 1 persistent fire. Very nice.
Light them up.
Bomber is nuts.
I love the smell of a barbecue in the morning.
You see this napalm like liquid just kind of like splurt out and land. Flaming globules land on this creature's wings.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, doesn't it?
The gondola will move. There. Okay. Yara, it's your turn.
Oh, will you just piss off? And I'm going to go ahead and summon a blue energy in my hands instead. The rapier will go ahead and reoperate on my side, and I will cast torturous trauma towards this creature. Which is a fortitude save of 19 that he must make.
Ooh. Kind of what a Rosh talk is going through right now. Fortitude. Okay. That is a success from the creature, 23.
All right, so you will take half damage of 9 damage total.
Okay. 4.5 damage. Let's start doing that just to mess with you guys. I don't know if it's rounded up or down. We'll round it up since you guys did the damage. What the hell?
Alright.
Okay.
My final action again, raising my shield. And that is it.
Okay. Rosh talk.
Yes. All right, I think I'm going to try to frost this thing. Oh, wait, well,
Don't do it.
No, I'm going to move up and just... Let's double check to see if it actually has the right... It's awkward, yes, it's not a to hit. It needs to take a fortitude save as I...
Oh.
poison into its face.
Okay. Rosh talk got that stank breath.
Stank, bro.
Okay, let's see. Fortitude save.
18. Oh no.
Fails.
It takes 3 damage with persistent poison.
Very mean.
Yes.
Wow.
Is it 3 damage?
2 persistent poison.
Okay. Alrighty. The creature is obviously shaking its head as it's trying to flap its wings and trying to like right itself. It's on fire. It's poisoned. It's not looking good. Alivek.
Can you share a space with your companion or no?
I would assume so.
I mean, if not, I could just pull.
I will willingly
Our
move
companion.
if you pull me out of the way. Yes.
Okay, I will take, that will be an action, so, right?
I'm pretty sure you can just share a space temporarily.
I don't know where I'm at now. I think oh, there I am. Sorry. Just, all right.
The shuffle.
Here, I'll just do that. Yeah. I thought I jumped off. Yeah, I'll go in front of it and I'll just be like, finally. And I'll swing finally my greatsword at it since it's in reach. No, it's 11.
An 11, unfortunately, is a miss. You swing, and I think you would have hit it, except it's just freaking out because it's poisoned and on fire, and just it's very difficult to hit.
All right, I noticed instead of swinging, I almost threw myself off the gondola. And to control my grip on the gondola, I pulled my attack and almost dropped my sword. So I would stab out instead this time, instead of swinging it.
16 is a miss.
Oh, I did the wrong thing.
That's attack 2. That's fine.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
You just didn't roll it with the damage. It's fine. Second
Actually,
attack,
no.
16 is a miss.
Oh, be still, and then I'll do it again. And I think
That we moved anyway, so you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have been able
moved?
to do... No, you
moved.
Oh, correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot this action.
But it was hilarious because it was a 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's funny.
I'm just very
But
frustrated.
a 1
Very
mi-
unlikely.
-10.
Very unlikely. Yeah. That was a natural 1 from Malavik. I'm sorry. I had to rub it in a little bit. Okay. So technically you can't end your turn in the same space as another. We can just assume that there's enough space here on the gondola that you were able to kind of move on the edge.
Well, then I'll just count the... We'll just count the first attack, I guess. And I'll just use the other ones to move twice.
Okay. Now, since the only one that is swoopable right now is Karoon, it's gonna swoop towards Karoon as its action.
I knew this day had to come.
Ooh, 23.
Don't let it get me. Don't let it get me. Don't let it get me.
That is 13 piercing damage, Karoon. I assume you have higher than a 13 on your AC, right? It's not a crit.
I do. I have a 16 AC.
So yeah, that's not a crit, but that is max damage. 13 piercing damage, and I need a fortitude save.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's really good. 25.
Oh, thank goodness.
Ouch.
Okay, and this needs to make an athletics check. Oh no! Oh no! Okay.
Would that be which side is the make it break it?
My side.
Yeah, enemy side.
I'm the aggressor, yes.
Yes.
So Karoon is knocked off the side of the gondola.
Remember me.
Karoon!
Oh.
Karoon is launched off the side of the gondola, and is then launched back up into the air and gets thrown hard at the gondola.
Ow.
This will be this reversed momentum will deal 10 points of bludgeoning damage and leave you sickened 2.
Don't know what that means.
You just hit the condition.
Yeah, there's a condition for sickened.
I
Hit
see.
points. And just make it 2.
There it is.
Well, I'm just curious.
Do I have to put a number by the second?
Yes, a 2.
Yeah, sickened 2.
Get the plus if you want to. Oh
Okay.
There
my
it is.
god.
I'll put the list of it. Yeah, sickened is bad.
Ow.
All your checks and DCs get a penalty of 2. Rope.
Sheesh.
You can't
It's like the
drink
worst.
elixirs or potions while sickened. No, that's so bad.
Wow.
Ow.
Oh no. Okay.
Hang in there. We're almost there.
It's your
just
turn,
gonna
Karoon.
Just gonna sit down here and just puke over the side for a little while then.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
Is that what you're doing with your turn?
You can spend a single action retching in an attempt to recover, which lets you immediately attempt a fortitude saving roll against the DC of the effect that made you sickened. On a
Absolutely.
success, you reduce your sickened value by 1. So I'll be over here puking.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's so awesome.
It's just dry heaving, I think.
So I think this is still a 25 that you're trying to beat, right?
I guess. I'll spend
No.
another turn doing this then.
Hold on, let me just double
It
check.
says, immediately attempt a fortitude save against the DC of the effect that made you sickened.
Oh,
Yeah,
So it'd be
so
the
it's
DC
God.
of the reversal.
16.
not the
16
push.
is the
Oh,
required
so I have
DC.
to beat the 16.
Yeah, so an 11, unfortunately, is still not enough.
Alright, then can I do this again? Can I just keep puking?
Can we spend a single action retching? Yeah, I guess so. I don't see that there should be a limit. If it's
I'm
one
gonna
action.
keep puking.
Okay.
On page
Oh, it's even
600.
worse.
Just so much puke. It's not helping.
Yeah.
Oh god,
No.
please tell me it comes back.
You can get another one out there. Yeah, nothing. Alright.
No.
Yeah,
Awful.
I'm all out to puke, so that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Let's see. Now, do you get one sickened off it's at the beginning of your next turn, right?
I didn't get the success, so I don't
No,
get any
you
second
keep
off.
it, I believe, unless it
did.
says
Yeah.
otherwise.
Okay. That sucks.
Roll
The
your
gondolas.
damage, though, Whack. Roll your damage on the birds.
Actually,
Persist
I've
rates?
been taking the damage off.
Okay, great.
Okay. However, the Pteranodon starts to fly away as you are getting within range. You can see Loskialua.
Those are
Getting
definitely
closer.
someone's pets, right?
Ugh.
No, those are just the natural wildlife, and they're not even the scariest ones. We got lucky. Prepare, and I'll cradle the downed one again, and move towards the front of the gondola. There we go.
As the platform nears the mountains, what appeared to be a vast pyramid city reveals itself to be only the beginnings of one. While many completed buildings stand atop several story-tall pyramidal terraces, many more lie in various states of construction. Piles of stones and wooden cranes dotting the work sites. The setting sun glints off of the glass of telescopes protruding from many of the completed buildings' roofs. including a huge one in a central domed structure. Perhaps thanks to these telescopes, your approach has not gone unnoticed. At the gondola's dock, a crowd of elves has gathered, watching expectantly as your gondola draws near.
Remember what I said? We
Oh, look,
approach the city now.
They are elves.
We might
I knew
want
it
to-
would be elves.
I want to leave that one until they recover, or maybe, I don't know. We might be able to help them inside. All right. Stop, not be as gentle. Be careful.
As you approach, you can see these elves sort of clamoring to the area around the pedestal. You hear a melange of different languages and things. You can see that there is much excitement to be had. Many people with scrolls and books. And Malavik, you see a
Yes.
familiar sight amongst one of them. Someone that you have come to know.
I think whoever's paying attention to Malavik will, or me, will say that I look, tilting my head down but looking up, and when I mentioned before that you'll be greeted in sort of way, I give the same look. And we approach. And I just nod with a slight smile.
You see a dark-skinned elf with tumultuous teal eyes filling the sclera, and blonde hair up in a bun with two chopstick-like sticks to hold the hair in place. A large brass-looking telescope on her back. Paper and pen in hand. She walks up with a quizzical look to all of you.
Arelia, I return
Hello,
with,
Malavik.
yes.
I see you have brought others.
Yes, prepare yourselves. Let me introduce you. But first, we have one that's not feeling well. Maybe we can go into the city, but if you need to speak to them all or do your check.
Yes. Please, if you could all... And you can hear the, stilted language. This person is clearly struggling with the common that you've normally heard. There is a very energetic sort of excitement about trying to say these things. You know, when you meet somebody that is very excited in a new country or something along those lines, like a tourist or something, and they're very excited that they're speaking your language and that you're actually understanding them. That is the vibe that you are getting here. And she says, please, come off of the gondola.
Yes, and I'll just, at this point, I'll just pick up companion from the sled device and bring her. And I'll say and I'll go up to Lily and right next to her ear, and I'll say they are somehow from Galarian. Oh goodness!
Another, more from Galarian. And you hear she turns back and starts speaking in another language, very excitedly. Everyone is anxiously like rubbing their hands together, and you hear gasps.
Prepare yourselves.
You hear gasps and like people throwing papers in the air. Everyone's so excited as they are bewildered. Everyone's kind of looking you over. They're making circles around you. They're intensely interested in all of you, especially Orashtok, especially Karun, and especially Arelia. Yara, there's a little bit of a hesitation at first, you can see. Make an insight check. Perception, sorry.
Perception, all right.
While she's doing that, is it any language from Galarian they're speaking?
Yes.
Like Elven or Sylvan or
It's Sylvan.
Alid? Then I understand what they were saying.
It's different. It's a little bit different, though. It's like trying to understand a different dialect.
Yeah.
Right?
Got it. So it's understandable, but I'd have to like listen a lot harder,
Yes.
sort of thing.
Yeah, and you might not understand all of the words. You know, it's like most of it. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy. I love it when
What
I
were
get to
they
use that word.
saying roughly then?
Yes, the relaying the exact information that Malavik just said to this person who Malavik has identified as Arelia.
You'll notice that my speech with her is slower. I whispered to you for a reason.
Completely disregarding everything that you're saying, Arelia says, I know you! I know you! I know where you are from! And she
Maybe I
begins
should've
to like
waited.
pull at the nearest one of you, like at your sleeve, and starts to drag you over. And then she looks down at Arelia and just remembers what Malavik said.
Please.
Right. And she starts speaking again very quickly in Sylvan.
I step up in Galarian Sylvan. Allergic reaction to a purple flower. I open my herb bag with the one that is that it was the problem. This one.
She looks at the purple flower and she says, I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure there will be someone that will know.
Let me talk to a healer then. Continuing in Sylvan.
Come.
I
Malavik.
throwed up.
Oh yeah, that one there is taking a pretty hard fall on the gondola, as you can imagine.
On the gondola? Off the
It kind
gondola?
of fell off the gondola and then
Yes.
came back down on the gondola, as
Safety feature.
rocks would do. But I'm walking as I'm talking because I don't want to delay. I've noticed that the companion the breathing is probably a little bit faster from all the noise and the other. And I'll whisper, even though it doesn't work, it seems, I'll still whisper to him and say, the other has not heard about our arrival yet, correct?
The other?
Word. Good. I'll just leave it at that. And I'll just keep walking.
Arelia has no real sense of what you were
What's-
trying to do, and will immediately blurt out, Gentiel?
Can we just keep it between us and everyone else here
Yes, everyone.
for now? And I'll look back at Yara and Rashtak and just give you eyes like this is what I meant. And just keep walking.
But I'm
Hubert,
simply just looking at everyone, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. If that's a
Rostok's actually-
constellation.
You're pretty happy and probably smiling at you, Yara. I don't think Arashtak has ever had a pleasant, greeting like this before.
no one, by the way, they're not really being handsy, but they're being very, voyeuristic. Like they're inspecting you, like just walking around. Lots of people like pointing, and you can tell they're asking each other questions, like trying to figure everybody out. And they only just now notice Hubert, who has been trying to hide like amongst everyone. Yeah, they just noticed Hubert, and everybody's there's another round of excitement, and like periodically these people will sort of burst out in like some applause, like just little bouts of applause as they've never really seen this kind of thing before.
This is very nice.
I don't know, why are they so excited?
Well, they are all researchers, scholars, intellects. Everything that you see around here, they have contributed. But do know that they are very interested in things they do not see often. And I say very interested.
To detriment or excitement?
Overexcitement maybe is a good word.
That is fine.
Yes, it is. It was overwhelming for me. At least you have others with you. I can only imagine coming to this place alone and how. And then I just peer at Arelia and I'll kind of just mumble off. But they are very kind.
Come here with your friend.
And I'll follow.
I'll be right there as well, since I can speak the language and know what is wrong.
And I am not leaving Arcelia's side, so I will most certainly be there.
I think we're all just going over, and
okay,
I'm still puking.
All right. Are the scholars like interested in the puke? Because
Yes,
I don't know how
people are studying the puke. Absolutely.
I'm very self-conscious about the entire thing. I'm just gonna try and blend into the shadows so nobody notices.
Just making them more interested.
Periodic from the shadows.
I am the darkness.
And finally, Arelia sort of introduces you. There is a figure dressed in similar sort of clothing, these sort of teals and whites, very slender-looking elf, and she says, "This is Dr. Lyriel." And you see the doctor incline their head and say, "Most interesting. Who have you brought me today?" And this is in Sylvan. So if you don't speak Sylvan, you don't understand this. But you pick this up, Rashtan.
I would assume I would know certain words because I've been here.
Yeah. Maybe you picked up a few bits here and there.
I'll just break off and let Rashtan cut in if need be. I'll say, breathing, weary.
Kind of like motioning for you, clearly now realizing you don't speak this. Allergic reaction to a particular purple plant. I have a sample if needed.
Arelia is also doing some translation here and there, just like interjecting. You can see Dr. Lyriel nodding their head, sort of looking Arcelia over, and they look at the tube. You can see that they start to look at the rash that has formed, and the doctor motions towards the arms, and Arelia says, Dr. Lyriel asks that you just hold down their arms. He is going to remove the how do you say
the breathing tube? Yes.
Breathing tube.
I will lay her down. Is there a place to lay?
Yes.
Are we inside the office or outside the office? Or,
yeah,
okay.
It's jam-packed with people, like, just kind of like at the periphery, just kind of like trying to look at everything, and like everybody's like, just kind of, this is the most interesting thing that they've seen in such a long time.
I'll do so and gently hold.
And also I hold the other side.
As the doctor pulls out the tube, you can see that there is a bit of retching that comes from Arelia. And the doctor just tries to check Arelia out for a moment. And then Arelia starts to relay some information. You pick up a good chunk of it, but there are a bunch of words you don't understand. Arelia says, Dr. Liriel says that this is one of the most advanced cases of
what is
rash,
this, allergic reaction.
Allergic reaction that he has ever seen. He can help, but may need plant.
I look at the doctor and Sylvan. Do you need a sample of the plant that caused the allergic reaction?
She relays.
I said it in Sylvan anyway.
Yeah, and she helps. It's like,
okay, thank you.
If you've ever
It's
been to a
close,
different,
yeah.
if you've ever been to a different country and there's somebody there that speaks both languages, like I've had a translator before, they help out like a little bit.
It's
here and
like
there.
being Mexican and going to Spain and having to talk in lisp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
yes,
Japan
I
and
see.
Okinawa.
Yeah. It's a bit like that. And the doctor shakes their head, and Arelia says, "Not for this. The doctor will help, but still bad. You need to treat, need plant, not here." Arelia, the doctor begins to give you something to drink, and you start to see the skin sort of return to its normal greenish hue. You're not fully healed, though. You are feeling a lot better. You can breathe normally. And you can sort of think again, and you have an idea that something is wrong, but you're okay for now.
Is it alive? Are they breathing? Okay, so I'll just be hovering over, trying to figure out what's going on.
The doctor begins to hold like light, begins to hold like light up to your eyes and like tests your vision and stuff, and they stick out their tongue.
What is happening?
Allergic.
Stick out your mouth, tongue.
Tongue, yes.
What is this taste? What?
Hello. Arelia is like right up, like super close to you, like right there.
I back away.
Yeah.
I gently try to push their faces away from me.
You are very strong.
Yara,
Yes. Yes, I'm here. And
who
I'll
are
start
these?
brushing her hair back slightly from her face.
Who are these people?
Well, we have found ourselves in a bit of a predicament in a world unknown to us. So there is a lot to talk about. But you have been quite unwell for some time now. So we need to make sure that we get you checked out, all right?
Okay.
So just cooperate.
I look back to the doctor.
And they look with the light, and they start to like probe your throat with their fingers, and they're nodding their head, and they start relaying Sylvan back to Arelia, and she says, "Yes, the medicine is good for now, but they have bad allergy to plants here. Need better medicine. Don't have here."
Do they know what sort of plant is required?
Yes. But not here. Have medicine for now. Okay. Is okay if we ask you questions about you, and we will try to help.
All right. All right, Arelia, are you okay with that?
Do you have something to eat?
Yes, yes. And I'll reach into my bag and I'll grab some rations for her.
Yes, this will be good. I will eat only the squishy things.
Doctor, the payment cost of this.
They look around a bit confused.
Our stock is fine. You being here is, believe me. Well, with that, my debt is paid in full. I have brought you to Loskialua, mostly unharmed. Your companion seems to be in somewhat working order. I have some errands to run. I have to visit the guild. And I did not finish the required quest. As I was out doing that when I ran into you. I guess this will be goodbye. But I would like to know about the... What is that?
Getting home.
We cannot do that without a working key.
Key? Do you have a key?
We may need to go somewhere not so busy. Arelia.
Yes. Come.
Boo, before we do that, can I just have something for all the sickness and all the puking that I've been doing this whole time?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about you because you were surrounded by so many people. I'm sorry.
And it's because I am the darkness. Can I have something for the nausea?
What happened to Karun?
It's complicated.
Different things. Mostly falling and being thrown into the air.
Oh.
Also, I'm half pervert now, thanks to the fetchling.
The doctor gives you something that looks kind of like milk to drink.
Gross. I'll take it.
I love that milk is gross to you, and the stuff that you make in your concoctions with viscous, strange...
What creature could this possibly come from in this world? Some horrible nightmare milk. Of course it's gross. I'll take it.
It's probably not even milk. Yeah. That's a good point.
The episode title now.
It's oat milk, actually.
Almond milk. Okay. Well, I guess we have some things to discuss before I depart. Yes. Either way, Arelia, Karun, you should be fine. After that.
I feel much better.
Really?
Am I fine?
Yep. all
I'm good, right? Yeah. Oh, I feel great.
It's like you had a shot of like Pepto-Bismol.
I'm good.
Oh,
No,
I'm
just walk-
very excited. Come. We will talk. I have other news. You are not the only ones that I've met from Golarion, even you, Malavik. I have heard from someone last week.
Another is here.
No. Not exactly. Come. Let's get to someplace more private. And you hear like Arelia sort of try to shoo the people that have been following. Like
Does it look like me? Horns. I'm just, while they're doing it, I'm just like really frantic. Horns, tail.
She's trying to do the thing where she's multitasking, like trying to shoo the people away, listen to you, and answer. And she's just, sort of yelling at them in Sylvan, like, go away. We will ask questions. It's okay. And she turns back to you and says, what? I don't know. They called themselves Sakuachi? They are not here.
Okay. Fine.
I've offered an arm to Arelia, by the way.
Oh, yes,
She
I've
needs
taken
this.
it. And I try to stretch as much as I can, leaning on you. Oh, I've been out for a while.
About a day, yes.
So I take it we didn't make it back.
No, we are on Castrovel,
What?
second planet of our system.
Oh,
Good for your stories.
right.
Which we have protected your book. It is in the bag.
Oh, yes.
Had to go through a river. I pull it out and hand it to you.
Thank you. I flip through it, and I put it away.
We are in Loskialua. Is the place that we are currently here in this village, town, whatever it is.
Okay.
Not that that helps very much, but
I lean to the side, trying to address this translator. Do you have any mead?
Me? My name is Arelia. Arelia?
Drink.
Drinks.
Wine.
Yes, you will have food and drink. Yes.
Oh. I'm happy with this.
all right. And I suppose we shall go have our conversation, yes? You all ready?
Let's go.
I follow the lead.
Yes, Arelia leads you to a building that you are familiar with, Malavik. This is her home, which is sort of round. A lot of the buildings are sort of cylindrical, and they have some of these pyramids that are kind of like unfinished. A lot of dome structures. You see telescopes through so many of the buildings. It's a wonderful view that you imagine that they have. I mean, looking around, you can see what must be a spectacular night sky in this place. But finally, Arelia sort of shoos most of the people away and says, "Go, go, go! We will talk to them. There will be time to ask questions. Okay, bye." Now, I will get you food and drink. You like sweet?
We'll take the meat as usual.
I do like sweets, though.
Okay.
We'll take whatever you have. If you have any more of that milk, by the way, that was delicious. Could you tell me which creature that milk was from?
No. That's what I'll be doing in the background.
No.
Yeah,
Don't ask. Arelia sort of says, milk. Milk. What is milk?
That's all right. Never mind. Forget it. We'll take anything you have.
Begins to put down a variety of different fruits and vegetables and things, and there's probably some really strange-looking meat that gets put on the table.
Oh yeah, I grabbed that.
I would like to conduct an allergy test.
Sure. Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Oh, I'm not sick anymore. I can take that off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can take off unconscious and dying.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Natural 20. Yeah, everything's fine. Eat here.
Right. I mean specifically for
Arelia.
the orc.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. Good.
I'm just being a hog, and I'm like,
There's
offers them over.
Yeah, there's some really interesting foods here, very different than what you're used to. You take bites of various fruits and vegetables and meat, and you're expecting certain textures, and they're just very different. There's a lot of really interesting foods here. Some are not to your tastes, and some are. The meat in particular has a very tough texture to it. But it's one of those meats you can tell there's a lot of nutrients in it. Like it's tough and it's a little gamey tasting. And the drink, there's no alcohol that's brought to you at all. Arelia absolutely did not understand what you meant. And just kind of brought you a variety of different fruit juices and water. Now, I have so many questions to ask you. First, how did you get here? What is this about a key?
So it all started in this opera house. I will relay the story again.
Yes, there's many questions that come into play here, and Arelia says, as you tell the story and wrap things up, Arelia says,
And that's how I got this violin.
Oh! Is this a mating call?
Yes.
Oh.
Not for me, but you know, it is. It does serve that purpose, yes, amongst humans.
Oh. Interesting. And begins to write it down. No.
I lean over and try to look.
At the writing? Do you understand
Yes.
Sylvan?
Probably not.
Okay.
Check. Where's that?
Bottom right of the skill page.
No.
Then it just looks like very neat handwriting.
I like your handwriting.
Thank you. Now, this key you say you have.
And I'll, while she's speaking, I'll dig into my bag and pull out mine. and hand it to her.
What does this look like, Adronis?
It was a key that was once treasured among travelers, but it is now split in half, non-functioning. When I pull it out, I kind of stare at it for a bit.
Have you shown this to Arelia before?
Yes.
Okay. She says,
But briefly. It was more of a like, I have this thing, and put it up. And I didn't really allow her to look at it deeply just because there were so many people around and prodding and poking and wondering and asking so many questions. And back then, I could not really understand anything that they were saying. Just broken common.
Arelia says, yes, this is very interesting. This is a key to the Ayudara.
Now you. And I did that mostly, more so to prove to the others that there are no more secrets to be had. And I put it on the table.
Trust has been earned, I think.
I will nod.
I whip out my book. We went through one of these, and I present my Nat 20 drawing of an Ayudara in 7 Arches.
And she says, you went through Ayudara. Yes. Yes, very good. Yes. Excellent.
That is how we are here.
To
The
travel.
key from around my neck.
You have it around your neck?
I did.
Okay. You take it off. Put it on the table.
I hold it out. Do not touch.
Arelia is midway to touching it as you say this.
No.
No?
It may be cursed.
Fascinating. And she looks from a small distance, just kind of looks eyes wide, and she says, amazing. So many amazing things have happened. This other person has called from Golarion. This Sakawachi, and they have a marvelous mind. Apparently, the young stargazer is what you call them, stumbled onto a magical telescope in a place called Skywatch Observatory. They were able to somehow send a message to our own observatory in Loskialua. Anybody that has a... Ooh, let's see. I will take a... I will say lore. What kind of lore do we have available? We have esoteric
I have
lore.
warfare.
No.
Legal lore.
No.
I have city lore about Caliphas.
No.
I don't have.
Society that I can recall knowledge of, but
I will
it is
take-
not lore.
Yeah, I'll take society rolls, actually. We can do that.
I'm going to re-roll mine. I'm going to use a hero point.
23.
16.
A 24.
Okay. So. All right. Orashtak. Yara. You know the name Skywatch. And it's not super well known unless you're from that region, which is in Bravoy. Skywatch is built around a massive observatory high in the ice rime peaks of Bravoy's eastern border on Galarian. And Skywatch was originally a simple outpost built around this observatory. This fortification was then overtaken by the Aldori during Isia's constant war with the neighboring Rostland, and it served as an Aldori stronghold even after Coral the Conqueror brought both nations to their knees and united them under his rule. Later, a few years later, Coral and his Red Dragon allies put an end to the Aldori separatists at Skywatch, and they burnt the fortress to the ground. Coral then began excavating and researching the mysterious observatory after the Aldori defeat and built the modern city of Skywatch atop the original settlement's burnt ruins. After his departure, House Rogarvia took over the endeavor on Coral's behalf. The goals and results from this examination of the observatory are unknown, but in recent history, every member of House Rogarvia disappeared, and Skywatch sealed itself off from all outsiders, including supply caravans. Since that day, no message sent to Skywatch has received a response, and even powerful divination magics fail to penetrate the city's ancient walls. For years, mages and scholars have attempted to bypass the seal, but were wholly unsuccessful. I don't know how you've heard of this. Maybe in your talks with Dr. Riddleson about strange events that have occurred. Investigations that might be worth investigating. But it strikes a chord with each of you.
I look towards Arashtok.
How?
How indeed.
I don't know what you mean.
That is from a place no one has communicated with for many, many years.
Aleli's
It is
eyes go
penetrable.
wide, and she begins to clap. And she says, "Amazing! This is a mystery."
History that could very well be dangerous. I would keep information going to whomever reached out to you at a bare minimum.
We do not know their intent, as they have disappeared. Honestly, not sure how they're even alive.
Precisely. I mean, they're not even getting any supplies or anything. No one can... I do not trust it.
Interesting.
May I see your key?
Again, it... what was... It was linked to a curse that
Yes.
It is fine.
kills elves.
They are very capable.
I remove responsibility then, and I set it on the table.
As he removes it, does it seem to be still intact entirely?
Yes, it seems to be intact. We have a picture of it here. It looks kind of like a jade sort of leaf with a key on the end.
Yeah, Karun backs away from it a little bit. Nah, want anything to do with that one?
And
I would like to advise caution. The curse specifically hurts elves. Perhaps you.
Sylvan, disintegrate.
Yes, you're handing it over to Arelia, and she's yes, I will be very careful. She sort of holds it by the twine on the end of the key, and as she does, the twine starts to fall apart, and she drops it.
Oh,
and it begins to fall into her lap.
I tried to catch it.
And we'll see what happens next week.